Groovy! Welcome to Earthworm Jim for PC, everybody. This is a port made by Rainbow Arts from the original Shiny game made for Super Nintendo and Mega Drive.
Run.
Let's look at that. A nice serenade for Princess What's Her Name.
She's not impressed.
Is Princess
hi,
What's Her
Psycho.
Name also a mutant worm?
Of course.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so first thing first, of course, a new soundtrack by Tommy Tallarico.
Although the menu seems a bit more mundane than
Barren,
the first game.
yeah.
For some
It is.
reason.
It is. It's a bit more simplistic. You might argue. Yeah, I agree.
Frankly, from what I hear, the game as a whole is anything but.
Oh no, I assure you, the game is incredibly creative. I assure you, this title is more so like for the sake of, I guess they were feeling minimalistic on the office that day. I'm just letting the music play because I love this music.
Although, don't get me wrong, I know the feeling. It's sort of like how Crash 2 and Crash 3, you know, when you start off, they feel a bit smaller than Crash 1 because you're more in warp rooms, but holy cow, when you get to the levels,
By the way,
then you see the beefed up production values.
And if you let the title screen idle, the PC version's credits will show up. Anyway,
Programming tools. No joke credits.
no, this game, unlike the special edition of the first game, see the thing is, Joe, but this game never got a special edition with extra content. So what you're seeing here is just the original game as it was made.
Oh, I thought the original game also had joke credits.
What I'm doing now is pausing and using the keyboard. I can activate a cheat to give myself invincibility. There you go. Okay, so Earthworm Jim 2 was made by the exact same team that made the first game. David Perry and his team, with music by Tommy Tallarico, all that good stuff. Okay, so here's the first level. Anything but tangerines. I don't know what the hell it's called, anything but tangerines, but it is.
Are tangerines the bad guys?
Okay, first thing first. We have to... Oh, look, Happy Hoinkers.
Also,
Alright, first thing. This is
the
a...
music sound like it's being played for a radio.
That's well, once again, Joe, since I'm playing the PC version, we're listening to CD audio. We're listening to Tommy Tallarico, just like with the special edition, we're listening to Tommy Tallarico's compositions as they were made before they were compressed into the consoles.
Oh, no, I know, I get that. I mean, it's like, well, it sounds a bit grainy, like, you know, like it's being played through a filter.
Oh, that's because of my quality recording. Unfortunately, when I had to use when using my, I can't record using the DOSBox recording thing because it records on a very tiny resolution and it records in small little second clips. So I'm recording using external software, and unfortunately, it creates this kind of thing with the audio set. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a way around it. However, the reason I'm there we go. In order to get around Bob and the Killer Goldfish's cat, we have to plug the thing with the pig. Okay, fine.
A killer goldfish.
Poor pig.
So yeah, in this level, we're fighting aliens, and we're also using pigs to solve puzzles.
Yes.
What, you don't
Oh yeah,
understand?
here's from Jim. Guess what? In between games, and those who saw the cartoon might remember this. Jim has a new partner, Snot. Who's Snot? He's literally a piece of snot that lives in Jim's backpack. Why? Because don't ask questions.
Where did he meet a sentient bugger?
It was invented by Doug Longdale, the main writer of the cartoon, and the developers liked it, so they decided to have that idea in the game as well. Alright.
Kind of immigrant, basically.
Alright, so you're probably wondering, everybody, why am I playing the PC version rather than the Mega Drive or Super Nintendo versions that were actually made by Shiny? That's because this port, aside from one particular asset, is kind of the definitive version of the game, because not just because of the CD audio, because the graphics look better than the console versions. And overall, there's just, not to mention, a better resolution and overall more consistent. Oh, look at that, the football. How nice. And now we have to avoid grannies.
With one of those things. Also,
Jaws with sunglasses.
Why?
Who's pushing all these grannies
Why?
downstairs?
Why, Teo? You're gonna ask why in an Earthworm Jim game?
I guess the real question is why not?
Exactly.
What just happened there?
That's because
Screen,
that particular weapon, Jova, this particular weapon that I have right now, it's a weapon that literally destroys everything on screen. Basically.
Probably need a potential seizure warning for that. Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Alright.
that's straight up Looney Tunes.
Yeah, when you find that giant light bulb, you go into a bonus stage. In this case, we're going to Granny Chair. Alright, everybody, tune up and get who can climb all the way to the top of the stairs without being hit by a granny. Terry, you wanna try?
That's what.
So he's using one of those he's using one of those ladders. One of those. He's using one of those stair elevators that old folks used to get up and down stairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a
With
chiller.
bagpipes in the background.
Oh, I see we're in Scotland then.
David, you guys, I love you.
Lay off the rope, although it's not good for you.
Hey,
It's totally what old people listen to when they're going up the stairs. Bagpipes.
Totally.
Aye there, laddie. Out in the great country of America, no? No, true. We do have a lot of Scottish folk in Boston.
Ooh, extra. Ah, fuck.
Ow!
It's not my fault, Granny.
What is she hitting you with a handbag or?
The umbrella.
Umbrella, I think.
Oh,
Of course, the classic umbrella.
Classic cartoon
Why
grandma
don't they use
stuff.
those to float down, though?
Where are all these grandmas even falling from exactly?
that's what I said. Who's
No
pushing
idea.
them down these stairs? Also, Jim, you lazy bugger, you can walk.
No, the thing. That's the thing. Remember, Shiroi, this thing can only be done. I think it can, or is it can? Whatever. But Shiroi, that's the whole concept of the bonus level.
Wait, that was a bonus level? Oh, snap.
Also,
Your-
did you
your
just
reward
create
for
a
beating it
creative power
is-
with that bugger?
Your reward for beating it is. Hold on. Now that you're back, now go back into the place where you found the bonus level, and you'll be able to get free a new gun. This is one of the best guns in the game, so it's definitely worth doing the.
Different weapon.
And you, speaking of that, another feature, we can switch weapons in this one, unlike in the first game. That's nice. Kind of wish they would have added that in the special edition of the first game, but whatever. There you go, see? Alright, let's continue. So yeah, just like with the first game, that beautiful hand-drawn animation is still on full display, you guys can see. And with the uncompressed graphics of the PC version, it looks even better. So it's nice.
So it seems like essentially the story of this game is that Psycho has kidnapped Princess What's-Her-Name, even though I'm pretty sure she died in the first game.
Yes, not the... Oh, electric chair.
Ow!
Jesus.
Trust me,
Why is
Jova.
that just there?
Trust me, Jova, this series doesn't give a shit about continuity. But anyway,
Use slot wings.
Shiroi, again, are you gonna bother asking why in an Earthworm Jim game?
I don't think the series just gives a shit at all, honestly.
No, it doesn't. Tommy Tarico even said himself in an interview once, Shiroi, that the design there was no design document for these two games. It was literally the developers going into a room and just busting out random ideas that just sounded funny to them.
They just threw dots at a board.
He has a finger gun,
Yes.
so he can literally give you the finger bang. And T-Rex roaring sound? What the heck?
Okay, so in order to get past this final obstacle of this quirk, you have to put in some heavy pigs here.
Makes sense.
And you also have to avoid that that bull because
It's Bob.
it's Bob, yes. Which reminds me, guess who the final boss of this game at this level is?
Well, Bob himself.
Bob the Killer Goldfish, yes. And
Well, yeah, I mean,
you might remember how Joe managed to call how we beat him in the first game. Jova, let's see if you're gonna go for 2 for 2. How do we beat Bob in this game?
Let me guess. Crack his helmet and then feed him to a cat.
Nope. That would be too obvious.
Lock him up again.
Well,
Fry him up.
here's a little tip. If you go here, you'll activate a little thing, Jimmy says, and you can get these for these 4 pieces of ammo for Jim's main weapon. So that's nice.
Huh.
All right, boss.
All right.
Oh, we're just gonna punch him. Or that.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay, so I was close. We
Jim
beat him.
wins.
So
You just-
we're... Wait, oh my god, the irony, guys. Normally worms are used for bait for fish. A worm just ate a fish.
Cows.
Thank you, Miss Cow.
Fucking. I'm strangely confused.
That's don't worry, Teo. That's normal. That's normal. All right, so there you go. This is how the Mega Drive version looks. As you can see, the pixelization on the original is quite.
Also, the song sounds quite... Ugh.
That's because Shiroi, unlike with the first game, Tommy made the songs all read with the SNES sound chip in mind, so that the SNES wouldn't have butchered music. As a result, the music actually does sound better on the Super Nintendo version for the original versions. There you go. This is the Super Nintendo title card. So as you can see, the Super Nintendo does look better than the Mega Drive version. And this is the PS1 version's title card.
Oh no.
Alright, this game was on
Ew.
the PlayStation.
That's because the PS1 version was ported by a different developer called Screaming Pink. The only versions of this game that were made by Doug Tonapel and David Perry's team were the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive versions. The rest were just ports by different studios. Alright, so this level is called Lorenzo's Soil. This is a pretty interesting idea for a level, because look at that. Basically, every time you hit the dirt falls and literally starts piling up. So they actually made this awesome physics-based system specifically for this level. So basically,
and
this level,
time limit?
You do have a time limit, Theo, but don't worry, it's very generous and it's very easy to replenish.
So
as you're about to see.
Earthworm Jim has got to dig like a worm.
And even if you do let the time limit run out, Theo, you just get hurt a bit anyway. So so it's not a big deal.
Like poisonous gas being pumped in to kill you.
Don't worry, you'll see. Oh yeah, that's right. The snot can also be used as a parachute.
So Jim doesn't use this anymore. He's at like an helicopter for the gliding thing.
You mean his own body as an helicopter? No, instead it's a parachute.
Yeah.
It's because Theo, in the original game, in order to do the helicopter thing, you had to mash the button. So for the sake of making it a bit easier, this time you just hold the weapon button while jumping.
Sure.
There you go. So yeah, as you can see, this is actually, and remember, this was already in the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo version. This is pretty impressive for a Mega Drive game. The fact that you have all these realistic dirt physics, like that, where the dirt always falls realistically according to how you hit it with the gun. That's pretty cool.
Look at that. This game respects the fact that, tossing enough dirt on a fire can actually put it out.
This is another thing that I'd like to mention. Even though the PC version that I'm playing for the most part is the definitive version, there's a problem with the PC version. It doesn't have this level. Nobody really knows why. Oh, and we have these bugs.
Ants carrying babies.
Why are ants carrying babies underground?
Look who's asking why now, huh, Pedro?
Okay, never mind. Okay, so basically, yeah, nobody. For as much, we never even bothered to get we never got any developer interviews.
Oh my god, really? What are you doing here?
Yeah, it kind of looked like a Chozo statue.
Yeah, probably a reference.
I don't know. It had kind of the beak look that Ridley has been sporting lately.
Whatever. What you were saying, Pedro?
Might as well tell that white goo that you see on the ceiling. That's sign that you can use snot for that. That you just saw. Okay. It's basically the equivalent of the using your own body to also. It's again pretty much all of the primary moves from the first game are back. They're just done in a different way. Where instead of using your own body, just use snot. But anyway, yeah, this level is not in the PC version, and which is why I'm playing this level on the PS1 version. You're probably wondering why. Nobody really knows why. There's not been any answers from developers whatsoever. Some people argue that Rainbow Arts couldn't figure out the physics system of this level and couldn't really port it properly. We don't really know why. So basically, even though even though the PC version is my personal preferred version because it has the CD audio, it has the Genesis backgrounds, because just like, believe it or not, guys, just like with the first game, the backgrounds are different between the Super Nintendo and Mega Drive versions, and you'll see that in the extras part.
I will say sorry.
Just give me one more minute. So this level is not on the PC version, but I still want to give you guys some awesome CD audio. So we're doing the PS1 version for this level. Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, it's kind of ironic, seeing as how, the CD audio, unfortunately, is to take a hit because of the recording stuff, but I digress. So, question, so does the CD port, does the computer port have any exclusive content to it?
No. It's literally the same thing. It's literally a straight port of the Mega Drive version, but also including the benefits of the Super Nintendo. It's basically a best of both worlds kind of port. The only problem is that, again, the second level is not in it, and I still don't understand why. Again, maybe they couldn't figure out the physics? I
guess it depends on what one would consider the definitive version. I guess either this or the SNES version.
That's exactly it, Jova. Thank you. I was about to get that later, but sure, since you brought it up, might as well say it now. If you want to play this game, if you don't want to bother switching between versions, I'm willing to do that. But if you're one of those who just, what is the one best version of the game I can play without, switching between versions? Play the Super Nintendo version. It's complete. The music, while not as good as the CD audio version, is still pretty damn good. And well, it's just, and unlike the Mega Drive version, it does have the ability to switch weapons, because the Mega Drive version, for some reason, does not have the ability to switch weapons, which I don't understand why.
Did I ask if the PlayStation version was plagued with a lot of trouble that PlayStation ports tended to have with retro 2D platformers?
Fortunately, no. Fortunately, no. The PS1
Really?
version of Earthworm Jim is fine enough. Like, the only real issue I have with the PS1 version is that they Screaming Pink, when they ported the game, they completely redid all of the backgrounds to be completely different, and I'll be showing
It was
that.
to show us in 3D, y'all.
Yes, and I'll show that in the extras part. Personally, I don't care much for the new backgrounds. They look a bit, I don't know, like I kind of like the minimalistic backgrounds of the thing. I think the one, it's one of those cases where I think that less is more. Where I think the backgrounds. I know you guys are not seeing any of what I'm talking about, but you'll see it in the extras part.
Sure.
Basically, as a little foreshadowing, I find the backgrounds in all versions of these games to be one of those cases where less is more, and I think the backgrounds in the PS1 version are a bit too busy. There's a bit way too much stuff in the background, and without any real need to. But again, I'll let you guys be the judge of that when we get to the extras part. All right, so yeah, like I said, basically we have to literally, well, not dig ourselves out of here, but we have to use physics to our advantage in a sorts.
Like I said, Earthworm Jim has got to dig like a worm.
I have to say, this is for a game that was made for the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. This is awesome, impressive physics programming. I mean,
Oh, you'd be surprised.
you wouldn't see this is not common in games of this time. But go
You'd be
ahead.
surprised. The Sega
mean-
Genesis was all about physics.
Yeah,
you know,
Sega
and
was experimenting a lot of things, like say with Vector Man, for example.
I guess, yeah.
And then, of course, the SNES was made to compete with it, so it made sense that the SNES would have a lot of bad jazz and stuff.
I still think it's a really creative idea for a level, though.
Oh,
Oh, it
absolutely.
definitely is.
This
And
track
like I
is great
said,
as well.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Shiroi,
nice,
Shiroi,
it's cute, it's cool.
Shiroi, it's Tommy Tallarico. But anyway, I have to show you guys his music for Spot Goes to Hollywood, because that's one of the most underrated soundtracks of any game ever, if you ask me. It's very
Also, you're
underrated.
pulverizing spore skeletons.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, the boss of this level is interesting. I'll just say that.
Imagine, does this
Okay.
game come with, you know, like a practical story manual, or
It does actually.
not so much?
Thank you for reminding me, Jova. Let me get it.
I was wondering.
It does indeed. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of probably doing something.
Oh, I get it. What happens every time the counter fails? I guess due to an explosion, some rock falls on top of Jim, getting some health from him.
It's
You've
probably the boss doing his thing.
You've got it right, Teo. Very good.
So I'm guessing some sort of mining thing here.
Yes.
So
That would
does
make
this one
sense.
actually come with a
I love
comic?
when
I
you get
wonder?
the clock for boosting up your time. For some reason, you get clapping sounds. Like
The audience-
great
the
Hey,
accomplishment.
it's like, hey, hurry up.
You need some encouragement.
I also really like how the Duck to Naple, when he animated this, because he was, aside from designing, he was also an animator on these games. Notice how Jim's idle animation is much more akin to his behavior in the cartoon rather than how it was in the first game. In the first game, he looked angry, and here he looks silly, like in the cartoon, which
and jumps on his feet. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, as a way to give even more consistency with the cartoon, they've literally completely embraced the silliness even more, which makes sense. I mean, these games are at their best when they're being silly anyway, so fine by me. Ah, babies. But anyway, all right. Let me. Oh, okay. Here we go. Welcome to the wacky and exciting worlds of Earthworm Jim. I'm reading the manual right now. We liked the last one so much that we made this one too. Hey, we gotta make a living somehow. We hope you enjoyed this latest addition to your video game library. Please take a few moments to read this instruction booklet to familiarize yourself with the controls. I didn't write it for my health, you know. The way you will find more satisfaction from the game and be less indicated to call our customer helpline. Not that we don't not that we don't want to talk to you, but if you call about stuff that's explained in the manual, then the staff sits around the office all day and makes fun of you. If you have a real problem with your gameplay that is not covered in the manual, then by all means give us a call. You can even call us just to say hi or tell us what a great job we did. I bet you understand. I bet you can understand that we get depressed listening to people complain all day. Calls like this really make our day. You can find the number in the back of the instruction booklet.
I kind of miss the days when companies had help lines like those.
So yeah. It's abundantly clear that the developers themselves also wrote this manual. But anyway, all right. I think we're almost at the end of this level. Which reminds me, Teo, we're almost at level 3, which means it's time for you to introduce my favorite level in this game.
All right. Yeah. We'll get to that.
And the the boss of this level is
a maggot?
That's the boss.
Yes, this is
a maggot.
The maggot.
Riding on a unicycle. Yes.
Who may or may not have children.
Earthworm
Like
Jim. He's such a good
spitting
guy. Earthworm Jim. Anyway. And yes, it eats you and spits you out when it reaches you. So basically, try your best to kill its offspring, I guess.
Is it going to evolve into a fly eventually?
No, it's not, fortunately. Basically, just keep firing at it until it dies. It's not. It's simpler than it looks.
How do you ride a unicycle through this terrain?
You be a maggot, I guess.
I'm sorry, I'm asking questions again.
Oh shit! And yeah, when you kill it, it divides itself into multiple bits of offspring.
That's nice.
Ugh.
All right, let's get out of here via our transport.
So he's not using any more.
Oh. Never mind. Okay, we'll take a taxi.
Taxi.
We'll take a cab.
So
Then.
he's not using any more his rocket.
You know what?
Wait,
Fine.
what?
Well,
Hi.
well done
Surfing
indeed.
cows.
Thank you.
Dude, that's radical.
Puppy Love, Part 1.
Oh.
Alright, first I'll explain what this level is all about. Okay, so Peter Puppy, our trusty friend here, has a problem. Psycho has kidnapped all his children, and by that I mean all 500 of them. So basically, Jim has to use this big marshmallow to try to bounce all the kids back to him because Psycho is trying to kill them. If the puppies hit the floor, they splash and die.
And Peter is not happy about that.
Complete with squish noises.
Notice how there's a counter in the top right corner. Every time you let a puppy die, that counter goes down by 1. When it hits 0, Peter gets angry, and we all know what happens when Peter gets angry.
So Peter's okay with some of his children dying, it seems.
And every time he
a
does,
select number of his children
and every time he does bite us, he hurts us. So try to keep yourself alive. One of the biggest reasons why this level is so hilarious to me is Tommy's choice of music. Teo, would you like to do the honors?
Alright. If you watch stuff like The Godfather, you should probably know already about this. When it comes to cultural exportation from Italy, this is some of the music that immediately comes to mind. It's called Tarantella Napolitana. It's mostly associated with Naples, the city of Naples, because of it. But the music in itself is very fast tempo, rhythm. For some reason, well, let me just use this to explain. I don't know why it's put here. I guess just for the lulz, but it's a thing.
It's great puppy throwing music.
That's the thing, Shiro. The origins of his music goes to basically misinterpretation of medicine. Apparently, as the name suggests, kinda tarantella, it's connected to the tarantula spider. Basically, it was popular believed back in the day that a person bit by the tarantula spider, instead of being just poisoned, he was cursed. So of course, the only method to remove this curse was to make the poor soul dance until he was tired, basically.
Wait, you guys
this music was created specifically for this purpose.
Wait, so
and
you
now
guys...
it's being used for this.
As you can imagine, most people died, so until it actual medicine intervened on the case, this was not used all the time.
So you guys have tarantulas over in Italy?
No.
Mostly in the southern regions, and why it originated here.
Allow me to. Knowing Tommy Tellerico like I do, his thought process was, okay, how do I make this even funnier? I know, we're trying to save puppies in this dark background at the sound of this happy happy sounding music. Like, it's ironic, kind of.
I mean, when Spider-Man 2 has the pizza theme being Funicula, that makes a bit more sense because Naples is the city that basically invented the pizzas. So there is some thought process. Here, no, it's really random.
Obviously,
He just pressed shuffle on his playlist and was like, yes.
For me, it works so well because it makes this level concept even funnier. Because you're the very fact that you're doing all of this at the sound of this music makes it all the more funny to me. Again, like
and hey, Amico, Earthworm Jim being tired as all heck kind of fits with the mythos behind that song.
Thank you, Miss Cow.
Thanks, cows.
Why the other has to smirk all the time?
All right, and now Jim's now a blind cave salamander.
What?
Huh?
Okay, this is level 4.
The
Jim,
moonlight sonata.
the moon.
Oh my.
Okay.
Wait, why is Jim a salamander?
Because he is Jova. So this is level 4. Jim's now a blind cave salamander. Why? Because he is.
Also, whose body are we in? Because this looks like one of those
Jesus.
inner body little bits.
We're traveling as a blind cave salamander inside a body with pinball bumpers at the sound of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah, this is clearly someone's intestine.
We have reached the pinnacle of video game development.
I guess the music really fits. It's like the Nirvana state of whatever they assumed in Dev Studio, because I want some.
Jova, I need your music.
Two more classical tunes that need to be
There's a
played.
window inside this thing.
Jova,
Okay.
we need your we need your musician's opinion. When Beethoven wrote this iconic, legendary piece, do you think this is what he was thinking of?
No, actually, he was...
Absolutely.
Actually, he was lamenting plenty of other things at the time he wrote that. But, you know what? Sure, why don't we say that?
He actually wrote it because he had indigestion.
Again, this is the developers just going complete nuts. Let's just do the most random, weird, crazy, batshit nuts things ever. Why? Because we can.
Hard.
Okay, there are two.
The animation for this thing is
interesting.
Yeah.
So
not sure how to
also,
actually describe
this
it. These
intestine has pens. Yeah, these intestines has pencils sticking from it. Also, why the sound of Jim getting pain is so gut wrenching?
I don't know. Anyway, but there are just two iconic classical tunes from Madness that are missing. One of them is, of course, the Can, and the other being a remix of Trey Park. If they have those two tunes, while insane stuff is going on...
Don't forget all of the Mountain King, Jova.
That too.
I mean, Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog used it. I don't know why, but he used it.
Jim's now a blind cave salamander.
What's even the story for this level? Manual?
That's just the thing, Jova. That's just the thing, Jova. There's no actual reason for this level to exist story-wise. It's just here because...
It's never even addressed in the manual?
No. The manual just describes the levels in general. They don't...
this is just what Jim's world
what
is
does
like?
the manual say about this level
Or the
in general?
planets he's visiting?
Yeah. I'm guessing this is planet intestine. I mean...
It does seem a bit weird, because the first game...
What is the consequence of these pencils?
Someone must have taken a lot... Someone must have taken a lot of dares in schools to make money.
God.
Either that, or it's someone who has one of those eating disorders.
Again, once again,
but real food.
Once again, Tommy's thought process is once again irony. We're doing the most bizarre, completely batshit, disturbing, insane thing at the sound of this incredibly calm and soothing tune.
That is what we call auditory dissonance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fortunately, again, Tommy is not just a great composer. He knows how to use music to make you laugh.
And
our game show. All right, so let's
answer a question. Select hand.
Okay, so let's see. How does Jim spell his first name?
Jim is a really idiot. Going off of these answers.
What is Princess
Also-
What's Her Name's real name? What's her name?
What's her name?
Yeah.
Literally.
What's your name?
Why are you grinding the worms for this?
Can Jim tie himself into a knot?
Yes.
No, Jim has no arms. He probably can, but he'd only use it to impress girls. Didn't work. Alright. When is Jim's birthday? Today he was born June 9, 1994. Today, if you had a present. Nah, didn't work.
What's up with the worms you grind?
That's because that's the worms that the more worms you catch over the course of the level, the more questions you get. In what year did the sorry. All right, final question. What is Doc Denham's favorite cheese? Camembert.
I don't know.
Though Doc Denham is lactose intolerant. Didn't work. Oh, never mind. Now it's the final question. Never mind. What color is Jim's red gun? Blue, green, or yellow?
Okay, this thing is rigged.
This thing is clearly the developers fucking with us.
Maybe Jimmy's colorblind or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, are we meant to be colorblind?
All right, now this is a classic repeat the sequence kind of puzzle.
Are salamanders colorblind?
That's actually a good point.
If it's based, cave salamander, so maybe it's like the Proteus. So maybe yes, because those had to be adapted in.
So what happens if you get most of those, if not all questions right?
You can only win, Jova. If you do win, if you do answer right, you get elf pickups and shit like that. If you do answer wrong, you don't get anything. Don't worry. It's you don't get penalized for anything. The entire thing is just to be random and funny. But anyway.
Okay.
All right, so it's one of those things where I have to repeat the. You know how this goes. Repeat the sequence exactly as you see
Simon
it.
says.
Simon says, basically. Basically,
Again, the animation for this thing is unsettling to look at.
Don't worry about this. If you don't care about this kind of puzzle, even if you do fail on purpose, you can just move on because the puzzle ends and you can just move on. So basically, get to the bottom of this particular area and you'll done with the level. Well, I actually forgot what was my thought process now. I don't know why I'm floating. Whatever.
It's so graceful.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now, plot twist. It was a suit all along.
Oh,
But why?
All right. On to the next planet.
But, I have so many questions, though.
Oh, shit.
And no boss fight.
Taxi.
again with the taxi, yeah.
Wait. Well, fuck.
Okay. I guess he's legging it there.
Thank you.
I don't know if I'd ever wanted to meet anyone who was involved in this.
Is that however they're smoking?
Yeah, it's smirking. I noticed that as well, yeah.
What the fuck were they smoking at Shiny?
They were
Something
smoking
really good,
absolutely everything.
Yes.
There's no way. I refuse to believe that they came up with this while sober. No sober person could possibly come up with this.
No, I
This thing
agree.
was secretly made by a bunch of children.
Yeah, the developers' kids.
Well, remember, Shiroi, the credits section in the first game's manual literally starts with, "Hey, who made this mess?" So, I guess it's appropriate.
I guess even they don't know. They just thought it was good.
Anyway, everybody, how crazier does this get? Tune in next part to find out.
I
See ya.
can't wait.